Gentlemen, all rise for the RankKing's court.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. We're back at it again for another episode of the Rank Kings Court. Little spicing it up a bit, putting on a little polo, a little more sophisticated king, so to speak.
I was gonna say, is spicing
So
it up.
That's why you wore it.
I was gonna say, is spicing up considered is sophisticated considered spicing up? I don't think it is. That's like
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Little spicy
Little
coloring.
sophistication.
spicy coloring. Okay.
Little nice, little
The
spice.
creamsicle look does look good on you, bud. It's very 70s Tampa Bay Buccaneer logo color. I love it. I love it.
What's up,
Little,
Grind
little-
Project?
Oh my God! Look at you actually showing
Hey,
up. For
whoa, Grind Project in the chat. Welcome, we missed you. How you
Yeah.
doing? But yeah, little Tampa Bay color rush, old school going on here.
Yeah.
All things considered, how was you guys' day today? I thought mine was all right. Had a decent day of work, came home, tried curry for the first time.
Oh, how was that?
I don't know. It was good. Brie made it. It wasn't as liquidy as curry I think should have been, but she was supposed to put coconut milk in it, and she put just evaporated milk. She didn't have coconut milk, which
Maybe that
most likely
might be
affected
why.
the process.
That might be
But
why.
overall, pretty good. So
Yeah, curry is delicious. There's some good places in Pittsburgh if you ever want to make the trek
I
down.
need to, man. I really need to just get down but also just trying to save money. So I get it.
Oh, you're trying to save money. Okay.
I said, I know,
Okay.
I don't have my own.
Okay.
I know. Okay, Greg.
All right,
Okay.
yeah, just saying.
But how are those days for the wonderful cast of this lovely show?
It's a pretty good day. Work wasn't too bad. Now we're here, about to have some fun. What about you, Greg?
You know what? I cannot complain, bud. I love coming in on Tuesdays because it's one of the few times I get to come into the city and I get to bust his balls sometimes, so it's fun.
Very true. If you guys didn't know, I was actually a special guest last night on our
Yeah, what was that about?
frenemy arch rival, the draft day. So go check that episode out because I was on it. It was pretty.
Were you trying to like settle were you trying to like make peace or were you trying to instigate, just out of curiosity?
No, originally I was gonna tell the tale that I was like an undercover spy and I like went in just to see how things work, and
Oh, okay.
I wanted to blow it up from the inside, but no. It was actually
okay.
somebody dropped out, so they called on.
They called in the favor.
Called on the king.
Called in the favor
Yeah.
of the
Called
king.
the bullpen.
Okay.
So the king is always willing to share his expertise with the group. Although the one Disney ranking I might have bit the dust on a little bit.
Oh,
So
yeah.
You made a kerfuffle, is what you did.
well, we did like overall athletes for Disney, and
Oh wow.
I failed to realize that it was almost like not to be like a triathlon, but how they would do in like all sports. And I thought it was to pick a one for a certain sport. That was my mistake because I had the number one overall pick and I flubbed it up real bad because I decided to take the best swimmer of the group. I took Ariel for swimming, and they were like, well, that's going to be kind of tough when she like has to get out of the water and everything to play basketball or soccer or anything. But here's the thing. I only said it a couple times, maybe a lot more, probably more than a couple. But when she does get out of the water, she grows her legs.
Yeah.
That doesn't say much, because the next pick after that was Hercules. So I flubbed it.
Yeah, you can't.
I flubbed it, but I was able to
be number one.
Yeah.
I picked up a decent team at the end to counter the mistake.
You made our show look bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Never. But let's talk about a little bit about the show. First of all, of where it's located.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're in parts unknown, as we all are aware of that, but RankKing's Court is live today from Union Fitness Studios, located on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. Union Fitness is more than a traditional gym. It's a place where you can transform yourself inside and out, with a variety of classes based around fitness, yoga, strength, and performance training. At Union Fitness, they believe that it is their duty to hold themselves and their clients to a higher standard. They practice what they preach and uphold the values that make Union Fitness the community that it is. Go to unionfitness.com today to sign up for a consultation through Union. There is strength.
Which that was another thing that I wanted to just do out of the blue last night, like they did their sponsors, and I just wanted to just be like real quick, just be like, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is normally where we like that. It's all right. Yeah, let's talk about it. Last week, our episode I thought was pretty good. We talked about all things Scooby-Doo, and a lot of people. Which I don't know if we had a three-way vote for the great debate. I don't know if we did that this time, but there were a lot of people, I would say equal parts, that said who should have won that debate. No, it's not you.
Well, here's the problem with yours though, Bud.
Your answer was because of Simple Plan.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it doesn't have. Do you even remember
modern day Scooby-Doo? And then Simple
That
Plan
has a
Simple Plan
plot.
was my final point that you happened to just spoil without me even saying anything about
because
it.
it's the most obvious reason, though.
Foreigner said I won. My friend Terrell said I won.
Okay.
Steph said I won.
We had multitudes of people that said Greg had a great pick of a pup named Scooby-Doo. I had about two or three.
No one said anything about yours.
False statement. False statement. At least if you're gonna do it, try to lie better.
One of your brothers picked you, so that you probably slid them.
I had my brother and I had two other friends. I had a person that I did a Survivor League with that said I clearly had the best pick.
Ah, okay. Now, Austin, here's the serious question though. Have you gotten any heat for your continued hatred towards redheaded people?
No, I have not.
I was gonna say. I mean, it was pretty dicey last week when that
Steph threw her shade, and it was probably needed because I forgot the fact that Daphne is the wealthy one of the group that funds the trips,
which a pup named Scooby-Doo basically explains. So
she would have put Fred as number 5 because she said he was a jerk.
Oh, I agree.
He always took credit for everything. So
he is.
It is as it should have done, but it's not how it should have done, as it would have been. Mark that down.
But as for
the
Grind Project saying you're getting imaginary people to say you had a good pick,
oh,
Austin.
As for your monsters, who was it? Red Baron Drum said Minor 49er. Got to be on the list.
Oh, I forgot about him. That's a great poll.
Yeah,
I told him he's number 11.
That's a great answer.
Personally, to me,
that's a great poll, though.
Personally, to me, I just thought, like, looking at him, that he was just a very confused miner. That maybe had too much carbon dioxide. But I get
he had one of the better names, though. That you
the
at
name,
least have to say.
The name is OG. I'm not going to argue that. Like, who else is going to be like Minor 49er? Like, that's dope. But in terms of actually, like, scaring me, unlikely. But let's move on, right? We got a lot to talk about tonight because we did our mid-season NFL quite a while ago. We're bringing it back
literally
for the
at the mid-season.
End of the season. So tonight we're going to get into all things of the 2021 to 2022 NFL season for this RankKing's Court. I'm very, very excited for this, boys. You know me as well. You know how we're all NFL fanatics. Greg, you know as well as I do. I've already done almost maybe 49 mock drafts.
And if you want your big Super Bowl preview, tune into 2 Beers Deep on Thursday at 7 o'clock on Twitch.
What's that voice? Where's that coming
from? I don't know. It sounds like a little fly that's buzzing around.
Yeah. 7 o'clock on Twitch.
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock on Let's get into it, guys. The NFL season actually was pretty dope this year. Maybe that's due to the fact of there was an extra game involved, so a lot of records were broken. But I think just along the lines, like this NFL season was very, very good, to say the least. We have two teams in the Super Bowl that are not Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. So
it's refreshing, isn't it?
It is. It is. It will be the first time that the Bengals have been to the Super Bowl in, I don't know how many. Have they been to the Super Bowl?
Yes. Super Bowl, I believe. I don't remember what year. I think it was
the 49ers, didn't they?
Yeah, it was the 49ers' first Super Bowl, actually.
Is that like 30 years ago?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And it will be Matt Stafford's first Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl 16. Thank you for looking that up, good sir. Yeah.
Well, that's why we have technology.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things that we're going to get into tonight. I wanted to touch base real quick on something before we lose a little bit of time.
All right.
Kyler Murray.
Don't read into it, bud.
What's going on there?
Don't read into it.
What's going on there? Why is he deleting stuff? Huh?
Don't read into it.
He's either going to another team or he's going to the MLB. So I don't know what's going on there.
That'd be fun.
Possible.
That'd be really fun, actually. I mean, they're in a lockout right now, but still.
Call up the A's, be like, hey, actually.
They do own his rights, so technically he could.
So, but I just wanted to throw that out there because I know Steelers fans are losing their minds that we need to go kick Kyler Murray. I think we should go get Kyler Murray. Will it happen? I don't know.
I don't want a 5'10" quarterback behind our offensive line. No offense.
I want him. He's fast. He's
gonna be
fast
running a lot
as a jackrabbit.
Mm.
He wants a mobile quarterback. We'll give him one. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm rambling. Let's get into it. First radical ranking on the board for the NFL end season. Let's get it. All right. I wanted to do something a little bit different. You know, normally it's how great the quarterbacks were, how good were those running backs and wide receivers. Let's talk about the overtime games because there was a lot
of them.
There were a lot this season. Maybe that's just the good graces of the football gods blessing us well. But I have right here the top 5 overtime games from this season. So let's get into it. Number 5, the match of week 6, Dallas versus New England.
This was a fun game. I do remember that too. I love the sequence where Trayvon Diggs picks off Mac Jones and then Mac Jones burns him on the next throw was just amazing to me.
It was, and that's very much what it was. Like as good as the Cowboys defense was, and as great as the Patriots defense was, it was give and take, very much back and forth throughout the entirety of this contest. You know, the Cowboys ended up getting away with the win, but we saw for this, like, if people ever doubted Mac Jones before this game, they were severely mistaken that this kid was something special. And for those that said Dak Prescott shouldn't have gotten the big contract that he did, you're all dumb because he was great in this one as well. Mm-hmm. Now, Zeke's another story. He needs to stop eating and get to work because I don't know what he's doing. Tony Pollard's going to take his job. It's insane. Mm-hmm. But it was a very, very close contest. And Greg, you brought it up the moment that I was going to say, where Trayvon Diggs picked off Mac Jones, ran it for the touchdown. The immediate next play afterward, Mac Jones burns him to, I believe, I don't want to say, I want to say it was Kendrick Bourne.
I think it was Kendrick Bourne, yeah.
Jacoby Myers caught one touchdown this entire season and it infuriated me. So stupid. They need a wide receiver. But that game was phenomenal. Let's shift gears. It was really hard to find because I wanted originally to get two teams like that didn't have anything to do with each other. That was way too hard for this one. Because number 4, we're going to the Thanksgiving matchup between Las Vegas and Dallas.
I do remember this game. This was fun. A lot of fun, actually.
I was like, plays that happened shouldn't have happened. I'm sitting there and are like, how are the Cowboys choking this bad against the Raiders? Like, I just don't. understand it. There's more to come with content from the Raiders, though. Stay tuned.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, really.
Spoiler alert. Whoa. Dallas and Vegas had an impressive showdown with one receiver that shined above the rest. And that is Hunter Renfrow. I loved this kid from the very beginning. From this season, I thought he was finally going to try to maybe break out and have himself a season. Obviously, with the tragedy that was the Henry Ruggs situation, that opened up the door for Hunter Renfrow to take the reins as the number one receiver, and he flourished, especially in this game. You know, we talk all the time with how great this Cowboys defense was. Let's not forget that Trayvon Diggs, as many interceptions as he caught, he gave up like probably the most by a corner in a season.
Yes. That's something that people need to like remember, that he got all the picks, but he's a wide receiver playing corner, and this is what happens when you can't watch someone.
Which is weird. I don't know if you guys watched the Pro Bowl. I only tuned in for a little bit. But there was a time where Trayvon Diggs was playing offense and Stephon Diggs was on the defense, and they were covering each other, and I thought it was awesome. It was really cool. Stephon literally like brought down Trayvon by his shirt, and it was like, there's no penalties like whatsoever in the Pro Bowl and no trying. Personally, I think that number 1 and number 2 team that finished as like the number 1 and number 2 draft pick should fight each other out for that number 1 pick. But
yeah, I saw Deke say that too, so I don't know if you stole that from him.
I was gonna say, did you steal that from Deke's Twitter?
I've been thinking. It's not just him that's been saying. It's been a lot of people that have been saying.
All right.
Because if you watch this last Pro Bowl, like
it sucked. I agree.
It didn't count on one play because I think it was a holding or something. But Mac Jones ran for like a 90-yard like rushing touchdown, did the gritty in the end zone.
They need a better idea for the Pro Bowl.
Just play flag football if that's the case.
I mean, if you want to, sure, that'd be fun.
No,
I always watch for the dodgeball game. Always. Which Mac Jones was the first one out. It was Michael Parsons Michael Parsons was like trying hard the entire Pro Bowl, like whatever. Beat Tyreek Hill and everybody else in that 40-yard dash. Just insane. Let's move on to number 3. This actually came to us in week 1, Baltimore versus Vegas.
I have a funny feeling there's going to be even another instance of Vegas later on, but we'll get to that. But yeah, Monday, the last game of week 1 too, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, this was week 1. This is very upsetting for me personally because I chose Lamar Jackson as my fantasy quarterback. And I lost that match because he fumbled a second time from Max Crosby. That guy went on to win every single game except one. And the only time he came close to losing aside from that was me week 1.
Wow. Apparently you were the kick that needed to get him over the hump, huh?
You know what? I just wish Lamar would hold on to the ball. But literally no one expected the Raiders to do anything really in this game. And it was absolutely shocking, to say the least, that they pulled off the win here. With everything that has been going on that would come eventually in the future. But still, knowing what we know, it was insane. Number 2. These were very recent. Number 2, Chiefs and Bengals, AFC Championship.
Yeah, I will say about this one is that I was kind of underwhelmed by the fact that there wasn't like a climactic end to it in a way, if that makes sense.
Climactic ending was that the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl. That was the climactic ending.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if you guys.
A long overtime.
Yeah.
It didn't last long.
Yeah, it didn't.
But the thing that was crazy about this, that we'll maybe touch on later a little bit, the Chiefs got the ball.
Oh, everyone thought the moment that they won the coin toss, it's game over.
They were cheering. They were like, it's done. It's over with. And Mahomes got greedy, threw it to Tyreek Hill in double coverage, and he got picked. And this rookie kicker who, dude, he's going to get, if he doesn't have a girlfriend or something, he's going to get mad laid.
I hope
I thought you were gonna say like a big contract.
Yeah, me too.
Like
I hope your brother buys his jersey now. Just
he might actually.
Yeah,
he honestly might. He's just, there's something about the Bengals this year that is just overwhelming, and you have to figure how different it would have been if they would have went Penei Sewell instead of Jamar Chase. Got to argue it.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
Also, the fact that Sam Hubbard says we're doing this for Harambe, absolutely just hysterical.
But they were the ones that killed Harambe.
It doesn't. They're avenging the murder that they did. I don't know how to say it, but
I saw a picture of the one meme where like the guy's like in the chair and they shoot him. It's like, oh, we're winning this for Harambe. It's like you were the people that killed Harambe.
I haven't seen that one. I saw the memes of just Harambe's presence at the top of the field, where overlooking the field. Oh man,
so angelic.
And then so angelic. And then number 1, this was the greatest game in a long time that I saw. Not defensively though. This is Bills Chiefs, AFC divisional.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
This had to be number 1.
I understand.
I know what Greg's going for, so I'll let him explain it a little bit.
You left off Chargers and Raiders.
Yes, because that entire time I was not having fun. I was having a heart attack the entire time.
Yeah. I forgot about that one.
But this one though, like, damn, like we talked about in the last one about how when they won the coin toss, like we thought it was game over. This is the reason. When it got to overtime, it was literally over. There was no back and forth. If you want to call it the greatest game ever, sure, I can go with that. But when you put the caveat of overtime in there, that's where the issue that I get comes from.
Let me ask you something, Greg. Could anybody else throw it down the field in 2 plays in 13 seconds?
No, probably not. That's fair. I'll give you that.
So, I mean, everyone and their mother was rooting for the Bills.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that we witnessed probably the greatest heartbreak, and it was solidified of Brady Manning 2.0. Like, this is it. You know, you could argue Chargers Raiders
100% deserves to be on this list, but
I was not having fun that entire game whatsoever. I was having a heart attack every 5 seconds.
But dude, like the game was amazing. Like I understand, like as a Steelers fan, yes, like we understand, like we were on pins and needles and stuff, but it was an amazing game. And literally to the point that Brandon Staley's own ignorance essentially cost his team a playoff spot. Like, come on.
Thinking back on it, like that should be on this list at least. I don't know about number 1, but
could argue maybe it should be on there, but maybe I was a little more biased at the fact that I watched it thinking nothing of it, and it turned into me staying up till 2 a.m. in the morning having panic attacks.
Yeah.
So you get what you get. But yeah, those are the top overtime games, in my honest opinion. Let's move on to Radical Ranking number 2. We talked about it a little bit of the mid-season of how the rookie quarterbacks were ranked. Let's take the rookie quarterbacks out of the equation. I know it says top rookies, but this is primarily just the top rookies in the NFL and how they performed. So let's take Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Davis Mills, all of them out of the equation. And let's focus a little bit on the more outskirts of the rookie ranking, starting off with number 5, the Denver corner, Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, I would say he had a solid year. I don't think there was any like moment that was like eye popping. Don't get me wrong and all that, but I would say he made an impact. He lived up to the status that we all thought when he was coming out this year.
When he played certain formations, it looked like he was lost, but when it finally came down to where he had his bread and butter, he performed. Like, he was amazing. Which in like Madden, he'll go in like the second round, and I'm just like, come on, man. Like, some of these guys, like, I try to build like a very young, sophisticated team, and I will just end up trading because I won't be able to get these guys. I won't be able to get like Kyle Pitts or anybody because I just don't hit 21. I never hit the 21 spot. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
But since we're talking about that, let's bring up number 4. The tight end prospect himself. This is number 4, Kyle Pitts.
Really? This is interesting.
Did he actually have a good season?
Greg, this is your bias of rookie tight ends talking to
It's
you
not
right
bias, it's proven. It's 100% proven, bud.
Stats. Look at his stats.
I actually do want to pull up his stats,
Right.
and
While
just
we
because
do
you
that,
bring that up.
Real question here: Rams or Bengals for the Super Bowl?
Rams, 100%.
Rams.
And that's not just
Rams, yeah.
bias.
Rams.
I firmly believe their offensive line will not be able to handle Aaron Donald's pass rush.
I just want to.
They're going to have to
see
gain.
Stafford win a Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
So.
I think that Stafford has earned it. Now, granted, I love Joe Burrow, the athlete. So this like contradicts in a way.
Yeah.
I love Joe Burrow. I despise the Bengals organization with all of my heart and soul. You could ask any member of my family that, my mother is like moving away towards that and supporting Keaton, and Ian and I are just like, shut up. No, like the Bengals. Montez Burfict tried to kill Antonio Brown. Like,
All
no.
right. All right, so I will give you your just due because he had 68 receptions for 1,026 yards and 1 touchdown. Where I will challenge you on is just the fact that his best games were against the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Lions. And everything else,
you have to bring that up.
He was relatively quiet against everyone else. But I will give you your just due. He did have 1,000 yards this year,
which I believe broke the rookie tight end receiving record. I think it was either that or rookie touchdown record for tight ends. I'm not entirely sure.
At 1? There ain't no way it was 1.
He broke one of those records. I
guarantee you it was not 1, so I would probably lean towards the receiving yards.
Probably. But, I mean, this is the big-bodied receiver playing tight end, so I completely understand. Number 3, a little bit of an oddball pick here, but I'm going with Creed Humphrey at number 3.
Austin, this is not oddball at all. I thought he was great for the Chiefs.
Okay, so let me rephrase. When you talk about like ranking rookies by performance, most people would think you're going with a running back or a receiver or maybe some playmaker on the defense. But Creed Humphrey.
Wait. How did you say that? How did you say that one word again? You said receiver.
Receiver. I know.
Okay.
Shut up. But he balled, man. He was like the number 1 graded center as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get out of here, man. That's insane. And he wasn't like even one of the top centers. Like, he was probably like number 2 in terms of like centers.
The center class this year was very.
Because like Landon Dickerson was originally at center, but then they moved him to guard.
They moved him to guard because they had Kelsey there already, so they had no reason to do it. But yeah, like in terms of centers this year, it was like a pretty like mishmash group depending on like what you went with. I think there were 3 centers taken in the second round. I don't remember one taken in the first though. So like that's kind of where it leaned.
Right. And like we think on like, how much does the center position actually matter?
Oh, it's huge.
Matters a whole lot.
It's huge.
Because we couldn't find any great feeling in the center position this year. I'm hoping Tyler Linderbaum falls to us, but I just don't think he will.
Or they get Zion Johnson and try to convert him, but that's for future episodes.
Yeah, true. So yeah, Creed Humphrey at number 3. Let's go to number 2. This was actually between 2 and 1. I know the names are like yin and yang, but like this was really hard for me to decide originally. But I am going with number 2, Micah Parsons.
I will give you credit for this because no one saw how good Micah Parsons was going to be, especially because whoever had the brilliant idea to move him from inside to outside was just genius.
Yeah, it's
Absolute
just like
genius.
no one. Like, okay, when the Cowboys took him in the draft because he fell, I thought, okay, how are they gonna? This is kind of really good, depending on like how their status in the linebacker role was. Because originally, like he was middle linebacker, correct?
He was,
like,
yes, middle linebacker at Penn State.
So-
yeah, did not play at
so-
all. Did not play at all his junior year. He sat out to get ready for the season.
That's why
Right,
he's
so-
good.
I didn't think it would.
Same reason that I'm assuming his number 1's gonna be after the fact. But continue on about Parsons.
Right. I mean, but I thought it was like kind of a pretty good move on their part because we really didn't know how the status of Leighton Vander Esch is, like how he's dealing with injuries, and they were trying to find a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing Micah Parsons in, I thought, okay, that's going to be good. And then they blew me out of the water when they moved him to outside, and he just dominated, literally dominated every chance he got. So it and all the stuff from the Pro Bowl and just like I just love seeing this kid play because he's truly one of the ones that will like leave his heart on his sleeve and use that sleeve to put you in the dirt. Like he's just absolutely a monster. And then number 1, I clowned my brother for this pick for how long, and it just came back to bite me. This is Jamar Chase. I mean, yes, I the only argument I really have to bring up is, well, he had the most drops.
He did
by a receiver,
and I mean, you could also point out too that Burrow got sacked 9 times and should have lost in the divisional round, but that's beside the point.
Well, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Exactly. He'll get sacked 6 times this Sunday, and this conversation will get brought back up again.
Exactly.
So yeah.
But man, this guy nobody could stop him. Like, I watched the game between them and the Ravens, and I was absolutely stunned by his one. He caught a ball, juked, and spun move 3 different defenders.
Yeah.
And just ran for like 70 yards. And I said, you gotta be like, come on, man. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. Jalen Ramsey has already said that he's going to cover him one-on-one throughout the entire Super Bowl and has already said that he wants to. So.
Yep. Which I love the
Good luck.
challenge. I want to see how
keeping up with him.
the veteran corner faces off against the young, bold receiver. I think it's going to be
best
great.
corner in the NFL too. So let's be clear about that.
True.
Austin, I like this list. The only arguments I could make an argument for Jalen Waddle. Most catches by a rookie this year. I think broke that record actually. I can make an argument for Rashawn Slater for the Chargers because I thought he was great this year for them. Aside from that, though, I would say this is a very strong list.
In your heart and soul, like you want to put Najee for how he did well against like with the terrible offensive line that we had, like that he was able to get those numbers, like speaks volumes.
Yeah, I would also say too that with Najee, like because of the number of carries he had, it was going to
happen eventually.
It was going to happen. There wasn't really like any like I would make the case that like his most explosive play was the Monday night game against the Browns.
Yeah.
And that was it. And that took like till the end of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, Deke wants to know where Loudermilk is, just out of curiosity.
I mean, I get it. Loudermilk.
Number 6, of course, right?
Is number 11. But yeah, those are the top rookies in my honest opinion. Now we have a very interesting, great debate. It's not a draft. It's not this. Let's get to it. The great debate. The debate is very simple, gentlemen. Who will have the number 1 draft pick next season?
Grind Project, you know what to do, bud.
This is, I mean, you could argue so many ways because of coaching changes, quarterbacks retiring, everything happening. Like, what exactly are we gonna like look for? And this is, I want to make it clear, this is no trading up. This is simply based on record.
Yeah, so we're basically just saying who's going to be the worst team this year, essentially.
Exactly.
Oh, Greg, Bo, Austin.
That's fine. I'll go last. That'll be a good one for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Greg.
Who's
gonna have the number 1 draft pick?
This is interesting. I tend to look at teams that from the get-go, the main priority would probably be quarterbacks and what their situation is going into it. I expect improvement from a number of teams already because I would assume that they need it. So I'm not going to like go with the obvious. It's like I'm not going to pick the Jaguars. I'm not going to pick the Jets.
You're going to pick the Lions?
No, I'm not picking the Lions. The Lions are going to be very much improved next year. You watch.
I'm not hating on it, so.
I am going to go with the team that, and I will probably I'll dive way more into this on Thursday at 7 o'clock on 2 Beers Deep because we have a lot to talk about with this subject.
Where are you plugging?
But I'm going to say the team with the worst record next year will be the Houston Texans.
That's going to be my pick.
Now, okay, so I get it. They won like 4 games that they shouldn't have with a guy that was there short term. So I'm interested to see because of the I'm slipping his name, their new head coach. Lovie Smith. In terms of coaching, I guess he was like with the Bears at one point.
He was with the Bears, then he was with the Bucks, then he went to college and coached at Illinois, and then went to David Culley's staff with the Texans.
Right. So interesting pick because I think he's gonna maybe shock a little bit of the world. I don't know because in everyone's mind, they were supposed to maybe looking at Flores, but honestly, I don't know.
Well, Austin, my reasoning for it is like they went 4-13 last year, and I considered that a good job. So like and I'm going to like be real here too. Like I'm just looking at this team. There's not really anyone that like wows me, and I could make the argument that yes, there'll probably be improvement from Davis Mills this year. I kind of like him as an underrated guy. And I could see like some guys getting better. Like they still have Brandon Cooks, who's a very good receiver. But aside from that, though, there's just nothing about this team that wows me when it comes to talent. You know, so like I'm not expecting anything great from it. And like I said, I'm not gonna pick like other teams that I feel like are easy picks because I'm expecting improvement in some way. This team, though, it feels like it's kind of stuck in the mud. So that's why I'm not going to go that route. I think they'll get the number 1 pick.
I got you. All right, Vo, your pick was taken. So you had a little bit of time. I gave you a little bit of time to think.
Yeah.
So which team is getting the number 1 overall pick next year?
So this might be a shock for both of you.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers.
Oh!
Because with Aaron Rodgers leaving, Davante Adams might be on his way out.
Yeah.
They're going to be in rebuild mode. Who knows what's going to come their way. This could be the end of the Green Bay Packers.
Well, here's what I will say. They are screwed from a cap perspective because they are way over right now. And they're going to have to cut a lot of guys just to get under it. And if they want to re-sign Davante Adams, it's going to be tough. I think they're going to be a heavy – if Aaron Rodgers is not there, they're going to be a heavy running game team. They spent the entire year with a patchwork offensive line, which was impressive, to say the least, and they still got to the playoffs and still performed well. So it's an interesting choice. I don't hate it, but it depends on if Aaron Rodgers comes back or not, which is the reason that you did that. So I get
Definitely,
it.
Yeah.
And let's not forget that even if Rodgers leaves, they could franchise tag Davante Adams, which at that point, again, I don't know if he would play, but it's a very interesting situation because we kind of saw how Davante Adams' chemistry was with Jordan Love. it's not great. So
it all depends on what happens with Rodgers.
It does.
Right.
That's
Right.
fair. And you could say that for a lot of teams actually. So that's completely understandable.
all
That
right,
leaves you ranking.
it does. We talked about not taking easy picks. I'm not going to. This is from I would say like the last month of issues that this team has had. Give me the New Orleans Saints.
Wow, you know what? That's good. That's good. Here, my only caveat with this one is that I think their defense is going to keep them into games a lot, and I don't think Dennis Allen is necessarily
those defensive guys though, and they are, if I'm not mistaken, they are worse in cap than the Packers.
The Saints.
They're pretty bad. They're like 70 mil over the cap.
Yeah, that's something that they always tend to have issues with, so I'm not necessarily as concerned. I think Mickey Loomis is a great GM, so I'm not held up on that. I'm curious to see what they do. I'm curious to see what they do with their quarterback. I hope they bring back Jameis, because I just think entertaining-wise it'd be great. But I do agree. I'm curious to see what happens with Alvin Kamara. God only knows, he might be released based on what we saw. Like, the pictures look bad. I don't know if anyone saw them on Twitter, but they're rough. But
yeah, let's
the entire offense could be completely brand new coming into this year. So that's actually not a bad pick.
I mean, you got to figure. I personally don't think that Jameis will return. I think he'll go elsewhere, which leaves Taysom Hill with a new head coach in Dennis Allen, who is going to look at Taysom Hill like, I don't know what you are. So
you just take a seat over there.
You're not playing quarterback.
H-back is the best way you can
explain it.
Well, there's your new running back.
Oh, God. That'd be fun. And we still have no idea what's going to happen with Michael Thomas either, so that's a good point.
You are going to be looking at a offense that is going to be run by most likely a rookie. You are going to be looking at a team that is most likely, I'm going to say right now, and I own Alvin Kamara in how many leagues for Dynasty and everything. This is going to, everything that happened. I mean, they were saying that he's looking at like 5 years.
Yeah. The one thing I will say, though, Austin, I could not tell you who the best team in the South is right now.
Oh, yeah, it's all terrible. Like, it's all trash. Yeah, but
it's rough. Without Brady, I have no idea what to expect with the Bucs. So
not only with that, but I don't believe they retain Michael Thomas. I think he goes elsewhere. And you have a situation now where we're going to find out how much the brain of Sean Payton was of this team. Because not only with him essentially retiring, you don't have a quarterback. You are probably not going to have a running back. You are not going to have a number one wide receiver. And you got how many guys to pay and no money to do it. So they're going to have to cut massive pieces of this team in order to find some kind of threshold.
Yeah.
I just don't think.
Do they have a good kicker?
Will Lutz?
Will Lutz, but
that's all you need in that.
Because didn't he get injured or something?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I haven't followed that much, but yeah, it could be possible.
But I think, and this is a secondary Saints fan talking, they're gonna get gutted so hard this upcoming season that I don't believe that they are going. I think this is going to be a very rebuild mode season for them going forward.
Are my Lions going to finish better than your Saints?
You might actually. I have a lot of confidence in your Lions going forward.
See, that's why I wouldn't pick them. I love my Lions going into this year.
It's going to really depend on how well Dennis Allen can manage this team. You know, he's going to put a lot of resources, I believe, into the defense just because that's where his threshold is.
Yeah.
But in terms of offense, this is going to be a dumpster fire. I really don't know what to expect, and it's going to be bad. But yeah, so we went Texans, Packers, Saints. That's a very interesting group of teams that could possibly end up with the number one pick.
It all depends on Rodgers for me. So
that's understandable.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, which I mean, the odds are very clear that Denver is the number one team that he could go to. I think it's like plus 130. I think for betting odds. So, which means that it's a real chance of happening. So, Vote on who you believe, or what team do the comments say. I don't know if people are putting teams in comments or whatever, but throw a team in there that you think could get the number 1 overall pick. I know everyone's going to go to the Jaguars.
Could be the Steelers, honestly.
We'll see.
You stop it. We don't know.
Yeah,
no.
That ain't happening.
I'm dying on a hill before that happens. So yeah, you guys will vote, see who decided who won that debate. Right now, go get another drink, use the restroom facility if you so need to, and we'll be right back with the top 10 ranking of the evening. Stay tuned.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Vault, the weekly show from Thoughts from the Bench that takes a look back at some of the best and worst sports jerseys of all time.
So, I looked up what a Canuck was. Ben, you're gonna shit yourself. What a fucking silly country.
Here comes the Crimson Chin.
No. You sound like the John Candy in a fucking snapshot.
That's Uncle Buck.
I have an irrational fear of alligators and crocodiles. I hate them.
Wait, what? Of like, okay, this school who looks like they're in High School Musical just came and balled out. So yeah, they're not drinking Gatorade or water on the sidelines. They just got bottles of Barbicide and they're just fucking tanking them down, dude. Like that guy who's nodding his head. Okay, where's the keg at? You know, like that type of guy.
Yeah.
Like
he's a glue guy. He's a glue guy.
Uga is a glue guy.
I want to show off the human goose that is Mike Glennon.
Oh my god, he is a goose.
They're like mom jeans with the elastic on top. Like, I don't...
I'm okay. I'm okay. He's a man of the people. He's in with the students at games and sporting events. He's posing with the frat boys. He's getting pumped up, literally and metaphorically speaking, for every event. He is Dartmouth.
What?
That was really funny.
Football's the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell.
JJ Watt, bring it on over, pal. Bring it on over. Golgi apparatus, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum. I'm just naming off science shit now.
All right, everybody. I know we said this was going to be a one where we talked about this season, but the possibilities are always endless for next season.
You're just throwing what you said and just completely out the window. Basically.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You thought this information was good? Where are we at now, people? These are the top 10 predictions for next season. I always love doing these because these are crazy. These are good. But I do have reasonings for all of them. So this will be very interesting.
All right.
Let's start off with number 10. Jimmy G takes on Tampa Bay.
I do not hate this one, actually. He strikes me as he strikes me as exactly what they need.
Right?
Yeah, strikes me exactly what they need. A game manager, someone to not make mistakes and all that, especially if they re-sign Leonard Fournette. I mean, their running game's going to be pretty good, so I like this, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you figure you're losing a lot of pieces in free agency. Chris Godwin most likely gone. They're going to have to retain a lot of defensive help. Gronk's going to be retired. So re-sign the running backs, try to hold on as much defense as you can, and hope for the best that Jimmy G. I mean, Jimmy G this is kind of like the same situation that he deals with in San Francisco every day. You know, he has a great wide receiver one in Deebo Samuel, a great running game, and a defense to bail him out of situations. This is Tampa Bay right now. Mike Evans, combination of Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, and the defense.
And put Chris Godwin in there too. Let's not forget about him. Like he's a.
I he's going to be gone. I'm calling it.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I wouldn't leave some names off the list, including Greg. This isn't another thing, but maybe your Lions. Just saying.
We
I don't know.
We desperately need a receiver to pair with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yes, I agree.
Yep. Let's go to number 9. This is a hot take. But the NFC,
ready for this one?
I'm waiting on pins and needles.
The NFC West might be worse than the NFC East.
Bud, you got the NFC South on there.
Then it was supposed to be the NFC South. I thought I put South, honestly.
Oh my god!
I was just reading it from the thing. I thought I put on the NFC South. That's my bad.
God.
South.
That's my bad. So
Bravo,
disregard West.
bud.
I
Directionally challenged. Sorry. The
I
NFC
just wrote
South.
What I had down.
Screw.
There we go.
My
We're
one
all good.
screw up in
bravo, bud.
one major screw up in the last 3 or 4.
That's
or
fair.
6
That's
years.
fair.
So
That was
NFC
fun.
South might be worse than the NFC East.
I agree with you on this one too.
Because you got to figure, the Eagles made the playoffs.
Right.
The Cowboys are still going to do their thing. You could argue that there could be a sense on rise in the Washington Commanders. And with Brian Duvall as the coach in the Giants, stuff's going to change there.
Yeah. And then if you look at the NFC South, the Falcons are still building. I like where they're going, but they're still building. Saints, you have no idea what's happening there. The Panthers, who the hell their quarterback is, I don't know. And then
I have no idea.
And then same thing for the Buccaneers. I don't know who their quarterback is either yet. So yeah, the South could be just a train wreck for all we know.
I had to put the South. I know. I thought I really did put the South, honestly, but it's fine.
I should have caught that though.
Yeah.
That's on me.
Chipper even points it out. The West is the best division in football, and so Chipper should know this.
Thanks, Chip. Let's move on to
West.
number.
West.
Let's move on to number 8. Philly swaps pick for Calvin Ridley.
There was some buzz. I don't remember who brought this up. I saw something on Twitter. I might have seen something on ESPN where that was actually an idea, and I love that. Love that idea. Ridley clearly needs to get out of the South, which is probably where his whole issues are coming from. And my favorite stat that I love to point out too, Jalen Hurts' QBR to Jalen Reagor is 5.
Yep.
5.
But do you,
So
do you really want to go to Philly if you're Ridley?
Yes, absolutely. Pair him with
Yeah.
Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts. Yes, that's a great
No,
combo.
just the
Get
city
it.
in general, not the team. I'm just talking about. The
Yeah, I've only driven through Philly. I've never actually walked around it, so God only knows if it's really that bad. But I'm assuming.
Here's the thing I'm going with though. Philly's got 3 first-round picks to work with.
Yes, they do.
Calvin Ridley desperately needs out of Atlanta.
Desperately.
So instead of wasting a pick, I say wasted. Instead of using a number 1 pick on a wide receiver, which has kind of been the way I've been going a little bit lately, and hoping for the best, why not take a guy that you already know stats of that is clearly worth a number 1 pick and get Calvin Ridley and automatically surmount him as the number 1 wide receiver in Philadelphia? Because then we also get to see how Devontae Smith does without so much coverage being the number 1 weapon at Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, Devontae Smith and Calvin Ridley together would be a great receiver combo. It's just you got to figure out if Ridley is in the right headspace right now, if that's going to be the case or not. We don't even know if he's going to play football next year.
That's what I'm saying with the Phillies fans. It's probably not a good place for him to go.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's everybody's fans in general, though. Honestly.
Didn't they throw batteries at Santa Claus? Wasn't that Phillies?
I thought it was snowballs. It was
The
batteries?
Same thing.
Same thing.
They threw something at Santa Claus.
That's fair.
Let's hit to number 7. This is an interesting one. Michael Thomas tips towards Vegas.
They desperately need receiver help.
Yep.
So that's fair.
You have Hunter Renfrow, not doubting that he can't be a number 1 wide receiver, but the Saints are going to have to make a move to get Michael Thomas out of New Orleans because, the injury concern and their cap situation. why not just dip him off to another team?
Mhm.
I think Vegas is perfect because I'm going to preview for another pick. I'm not going to say it. That's going to come later.
Okay.
That's going to make it
Make the connection. Okay.
But he desperately needs to get to a team that will, number one, be able to utilize him, because I just don't know what that offense is going to. If my name is Michael Thomas, I don't want to be catching passes from a rookie in a rebuilding offense.
Mhm.
So
Is he a free agent this year? Or
I don't think so. No,
trade
he
him?
has.
no,
No,
he's
he's got $100 million contract still with the Saints, but he was injured last year, so like he didn't play. There's also another $100 million receiver that I could see leaving too, so that's going to be another story to potentially.
Yeah. I did see somewhere that it could work if Vegas sends Cleveland Farrell a second and a third for Michael Thomas.
You're gonna put Cleveland Farrell as trade bait. God, where's Deke in this case?
I'm just saying. Yeah, that's my number 7. Now we're getting into like what this. So just hold your horses with this.
All right, go ahead.
Number 6. Cousins reunites with Stefanski in Cleveland.
What?
Yep.
Why are you sending my twin to Cleveland exactly?
Where's Baker go?
Minnesota.
Oh, they're
Oh
swapping.
man.
Think about it though. Are you really gonna pay Cousins that money to stay? It's like a $40 million hit if he stays.
I mean their new GM is probably looking at this and like, this is a team that is very talented. And Cousins actually at one point last year, like no one was paying attention to this, but his completion percentage was actually teetering on elite levels last year.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Cleveland is not. So, and then you have the argument of now in Cleveland in the draft, maybe taking a receiver wouldn't be so bad because now you have Kirk Cousins to throw him the ball.
That ain't
Just
happening.
Hey, you see how many mocks of Garrett Wilson going? I'm just saying. So I thought this was fun though, because I can only imagine Baker in the Minnesota cold trying to throw the ball to Justin Jefferson.
Well,
they're in a dome.
They're in a dome.
So
Yeah, it's actually
hold
good.
up.
I mean,
Baker deserves
that'll
to breathe.
keep Baker warm if he lives
Yeah.
there.
No,
He lives
Baker
at the stadium there too.
Baker playing with Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. That's not fair. Like I just like come on. That's not fair. You're gonna put him in a better situation. Like come on. Let's be real here. That ain't happening.
Just saying. Number 5 is a tricky one, but if all issues are cleared away, this might not be a bad idea. Of number 5, Watson becomes a Commander.
Oh boy. Oh boy, bud.
Graphics pretty nice though.
The graphic does look nice, I must say.
I know.
Man.
I know of all the situations. I know.
Situations is putting it lightly, man.
I know.
And I'm not even just talking about from Watson's side. I'm talking about from the Commander's side, too.
But wouldn't you argue that this would be the Commander thing to do? They can't even fix their stadium, Greg.
Bad situation plus bad situation does not equal good situation,
It might.
But in Dan Snyder's mind, all publicity is good publicity, man.
Oh my
He doesn't even care. Listen, I don't know if y'all watched that game against Philadelphia, but when Jalen Hurts was walking out of the stadium, fans tried to shake his hand and it collapsed.
Which is crazy.
5 people fell.
Which is crazy
because
before AT&T Stadium, like FedEx Field was actually the largest stadium in the NFL. Like I think it can hold 6 figures, which is amazing.
Well, who's their quarterback now?
Taylor Heineke.
Okay.
Okay.
So they will be needing a quarterback.
I mean, they went 7-10 last year with him, so it's not like he's garbage.
Foreign drafts who the Commanders are.
That would be the Washington football team.
Yep. Let's hit number 4 because now it starts to make a little bit of sense. Russell Wilson and Derek Carr swap teams.
This would be fun to see.
It would be fun. But like I don't.
Especially if Thomas goes to Vegas, like you're talking about.
Yeah, but I don't want Derek Carr in a worse situation. I really don't. I love Derek Carr.
So you could argue though, how great was the offensive line in Vegas to Seattle?
It was better.
Bollocks.
It was better. Yes, it was.
By like a threshold.
Still was
like
better.
A small little
Jake
bit.
says no way for this one.
Well, he's a Russell Wilson fan. But here's the thing.
Fan, right, Chip?
You don't like. Does anybody like? Okay, the obvious thing is does Russell stay in Seattle? I don't know.
Then it comes to the Steelers.
Shut up. That's not happening.
You wrote that in your blog.
Yeah. And now I'm realizing theatrics.
Bad idea. Bad idea.
Derek Carr in Seattle would be interesting. Russell Wilson in Vegas would be electric.
I mean, it does scream Vegas, him and Michael Thomas together. You're not wrong. I'll give you that.
Right? And it's not like Derek Carr has bad weapons to work with. He finally has some receivers in Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf.
He has no offensive line, though. He also has He also barely has a running game, even though Rashad Penny did come on like at the very end. So I mean,
oh yeah, no, that's another
thing.
I do have big things for Rashad Penny in the future. So.
I hope that was like a sign that Penny will come around, but they still need an O line in the worst way.
Number 3, McCaffrey and Barkley reignite their careers by getting new teams.
You're not talking about them swapping. You're just
no.
Going to different teams.
Going to different teams.
So
yes, but they have to stay healthy.
yeah, that's essentially how it is. I think that McCaffrey should be on the trade block this year just because like he just cannot stay healthy, and the Panthers need so much with that team. I love their defense, but like their offense is just a mess. The Giants, we have not seen a healthy Saquon Barkley in years at this point, and I can only imagine how much better they would be if Daniel Jones at least had a stable running game to work with. But
right,
yeah.
So I have ideas for where they might go if you'd like to hear.
By all means.
I personally think that McCaffrey could end up, weird thing I know, in Houston. I know. But then you have Barkley end up in Miami.
See, I would love that. I would love that, especially because they just got their head coach, who's like an expert in run game coordinating and stuff.
He does not look like a head coach at all.
I believe the word that Deke described him last week was a dork.
Yeah,
would be the best way to explain it.
Said
I'm Mike
He won the
McDaniel.
Super Bowl on Madden, and they're like, "Oh, you want a job?" Like that's what he said.
It is. It's really funny. He does look like a dork.
But in order to do that, they're going to have to draft a great set of offensive linemen, because the Miami Dolphins offensive line is quite possibly the worst in the entire NFL.
Also another team that I would love to see Barkley on, because I would just think it would be entertaining. I'd love if he was on Atlanta.
Yeah, they desperately need a running back situation. You know, Cordell Patterson was a thing.
He was a weapon.
But I don't know.
He was a weapon, is what he was.
He was a guy to throw to, which we didn't see that a lot of Barkley in New York. And I would like to see him actually get back to his form. So that's my number 3. This now, I get it. I get it for number 2. Just I love it. I don't care what y'all think. I'm putting it in here.
You already know you're gonna hate
Putting it in here.
Go ahead.
Number 2, Pittsburgh makes a run for Murray.
Shut up.
They have to, man. Come on.
What is wrong with you?
Think about this. With their love, they said they want to draft a mobile quarterback. Aside from Lamar, why don't you draft the next best mobile quarterback option?
And then in the offseason, he can play for the Pirates. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Helps the city.
It's actually
That's not how that works, but thank you.
That's actually a good point I was going to make, though, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, good. Nice try.
I know, like, nothing probably will happen, but this was just so much fun to see how Murray deleted everything, and immediately everybody was, like, gasping at if he would be traded, because if that happens, Arizona's gonna have to find a quarterback situation because nothing's gonna be.
I'm pretty sure they won't have a difficulty trying to find someone to play with DeAndre Hopkins, bud.
True.
Yeah.
True. But Kyler Murray in Pittsburgh in the black and gold just sounds so right.
He would be Slash 2.0. I'll give you that.
It would be fun to see.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like me and you became Steelers fans with Cordell Stewart as their quarterback, so yeah, it's like what we grew up on.
And the number one, possibly the most obvious one, but number one, Rodgers to Denver. It's maybe already set in stone because of the fact that their offensive coordinator from Green Bay is now the head coach of the Denver Broncos. That had to be a factoring matter on hiring situations.
I also believe their O-line coach is the offensive coordinator as well. So.
It is offensive. Yeah. So you got to think that this has to work. And whether I saw a thing where it was Rodgers and Adams for 3 first rounds, a second round, and Jerry Jeudy. Like,
that's a lot.
Yeah, but they immediately, and I know we say any team with Rodgers is a Super Bowl contender, they automatically at least make playoffs. They have to. And then maybe Aaron Rodgers' unfortunate luck with the postseason can come to an end, since he won't be with a team that ignores every possible outcome in order to have him fail.
It's weird to think about because growing up, Packers and Broncos are big rivals. Just imagine Elway going to Green Bay and Favre
I
going
can't
there.
say it.
It's just
weird.
weird.
Well,
it's weird.
I
know they're not really rivals anymore.
No. Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
But I argue, Brett Favre, Green Bay, then went to Minnesota. So
which that's that. I mean, first he was with the Jets first, and then Minnesota, which is something I still can't get over.
That's like Rodgers going to the Bears.
Yeah, but he does.
Yeah, that would be like a pit stop in between, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, but all jokes aside, a lot of people are like Rodgers to Pittsburgh, Rodgers to this. If there's any team, it's either Denver or, honestly, in my mind, it's retirement.
Tampa would be interesting. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't know with the amount of things that they have to do in there that might not work. I don't know, because you got to retain. I mean, granted, Godwin can walk then if you're going to bring in Devontae Adams, but I don't know. It'd be very interesting. I don't want Tampa to become the team where as soon as one amazing veteran quarterback retires, then the other one steps up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Denver is the right situation because you don't know what you're going to have with Teddy Bridgewater. You don't know what you're going to have with Drew Lock, and all the other pieces are there. They have an amazing running game. Their wide receivers are phenomenal, even more well with Devontae Adams. If that happens, their defense is set in stone. They just need a quarterback, so they have to get the best one.
A lot of people forget all this too. Like Nathaniel Hackett is very good at developing a good running game to make it work. Like he was the OC when the Jags beat the Steelers in the playoffs, and that was with Leonard Fournette and all that. And when he goes to Green Bay, is no surprise that Aaron Jones and why am I forgetting the name of the Boston College running back that they got? It's escaping me right now. But yeah, both of them actually made significant strides this year. So I would not be surprised if Javonte Williams has a great year this year.
Yeah, Chip makes a good point. Rodgers is building a house in Tennessee.
He's not going to the Titans. He's not going to the Titans.
I would live down there.
Listen, I would love to see him and Mike Vrabel interact with each other. I feel like that would be fun. That'd be so much fun.
But
I wonder if the Titans honestly will draft, because Mike Vrabel's son is in this draft class. Are they going to draft Mike Vrabel's son to be like, hey, buddy?
I would say that'd be more like a UDFA type of thing. I don't think he's a draftable guy, but I could be wrong.
But from the look at your top 10, it looks like every team might have a new quarterback next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to stay away from quarterbacks and everything as much as I could, but
I did.
It's hard this year.
It is. It's really hard. There's just so many there's so many signs out there that we have no idea how. I think I would say a quarter of the league we have no idea who's going to be the starting quarterback for going into next year.
Even the Steelers.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Malik Willis, gotta pray.
I'm not letting a Senior Bowl distract me, so sorry.
Where's Kenny going?
Honestly,
Are you gonna?
I could see Denver. I could see Denver. I could see New Orleans.
Are you gonna hate me if I say Detroit?
What, Kenny? No, I'd be thrilled if he's.
I could see him going to Detroit, but they have an early pick, don't they?
They
Well,
do, but
they also have a
the
late. They have a late first. So
then maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So if there's my point. Depending on if they win the Super Bowl or not with the Rams pick, they either end up at 31 or 32.
Right.
And then you have to argue a lot of people are maybe looking at other realms of quarterback in the draft. And I know that's weird because, Kenny Pickett is a great quarterback to work with, but Malik Willis, I hate to say it, he's probably going to be the number one quarterback off the board. Just the way that the Senior Bowl played out.
We still got the combine, bud. That's going to be that's going to be the big one.
You do. Then you have Sam Howell that'll most likely go very early.
Matt Corral.
Matt Corral, yep. Who could end up, there have been arguments to say, is Matt Corral going to end up with the Commanders? Is he going to end up with the Saints?
Mm-hmm.
And it backtracks again with Sam Howell. What's going to happen there? You got guys that maybe like Desmond Ridder could slide into the first round depending on how things go.
I'm just going to point this out here too. During the Senior Bowl, I think it was during the game and stuff, they had Dan Campbell on the sideline, and they actually asked him point blank, how much do you like Malik Willis? And then he smiled and he said, no comment. So just going to throw this out here. Malik Willis could be a Detroit Lion, so that's also a possibility.
If they take Malik Willis over Aiden Hutchinson, I'm going to
No, not at – I don't think it'll be that high, bud. I'm just saying.
You don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But, yep, those are the top 10 predictions for next season. I always love doing them because they're off the wall. And Kyler Murray better be a Steeler. That's all I'm saying.
Sorry to break your heart, bud.
It's already broken.
Mm-hmm.
But you can find us always. Thank you again for watching. We are always here 6:30 on Twitch, Tuesday nights. Please go check out after. Derek's going to be streaming video games starting at 8. Jump on the stream there and check him out, whether he's doing Fortnite or Madden.
Twisted Tea Time with Deke.
Twisted Tea with D. I just love saying that. It just
No. Twisted Tea Time with Deke.
Twisted Tea with D. That sounds like a Fatcast thing to say. But yeah, we'll be back. Always tune in. Also, next week we do have a show. I thought we originally said that we weren't going to have a show, but now that the schedule's been figured out.
Bro, you need a calendar in the worst way.
I do. But from the Creamsicle Polo and Crown myself, I wish you all a wonderful week. Do your best. Every win is a win. Get out there and make the best of yourselves.
Win is a win. Wow.
A win is a win.
That's good.
It's like me and
Standard
the
is the
debate.
standard.
Yeah.
Shut up. Till then, everyone, thank you again for watching, and we'll see you here next week. Greg, take the gavel. Court is adjourned.